It's the Mahatma Randy Show. You know, another book I don't think people get is Lord of the Flies, 1954. It's a story about some British school kids who get stranded on an island owing to a plane crash. Their attempts to set up a stable society quickly fall apart, and they end up worshipping a decomposing corpse on the top of a mountain. The titular Lord of the Flies. Get it? Then they allow the little ones to starve, they kill each other, and ultimately they end up setting the whole damn island on fire. Over the last decade or so, I've seen a lot of people who have either never read the book or only vaguely remember it from their 9th grade lit class saying,
"That book is unrealistic. There's a bunch of kids who got stranded in real life on a Pacific island and they lived there for 18 months and took care of each other and shared food and never even killed each other. Not even a little bit."
Okay. But those were South Sea Islander kids who were already friends when they stole a boat and ended up shipwrecked on another South Seas island. Meaning they already had a social bond. They already knew how to survive in that environment because it was just like the one they ran away from. And they already knew how to fish and stuff like that. Also, they were already poor, so they knew how to make do with less. And there were only 6 or 7 of them. It is an inspiring story, and I'm happy it worked out well for them. However, the kids in Lord of the Flies were a bunch of pasty-faced Brits from a boarding school, so A, they were upper middle class or rich. B, most of them seemed to only vaguely know each other or not know each other at all. C, a tropical island is completely alien to them and hence they don't know how to survive. Oh, and D, there's like 80 kids. These are not comparable situations. Another major difference between the situations is that the real-life castaways weren't in the middle of a major war. Yeah, Lord of the Flies is set in World War III. No, really, the kids are on a plane in the first place because of an emergency evacuation in the middle of the night where they just loaded everyone they could onto a plane with no warning. They crash because the plane's wing bursts into flames because of a nearby nuke going off. No one is even looking for them because, again, there's a war on, and everybody in the rest of the world has more important things to do. The Lord of the Flies is expressly described as a fighter pilot who was already dead when his parachute landed him on the island. And of course, they are rescued, maybe, by a destroyer at the end. It's easy to miss. I missed it the first time through. I thought it was set in World War II, but nope. The author has said that it is World War III. So it's not a simple survival tale, which I think most people don't get. It is a symbolic exploration of how thin the veneer of civilization is, and how quickly it falls apart into violence and superstition. This is very pertinent to a country, England, that just lived through 2 world wars, was in the early Cold War, when World War III seemed inevitable, and it seemed like it would bring a slew of nightmare weapons that would probably end civilization entirely. So the story is a metaphor. Comparing it to a real-life situation is like saying,
"Heart of Darkness isn't a fair representation of the ivory trade."
or
"Forbidden Planet is nonsense because it refers to psychological concepts that no one uses anymore."
it is utterly missing the point. By the way, please stick around for my ad coming up in a second. Bonus observation. In the end, a British destroyer shows up having seen the smoke from the burning island. The children are on a murderous rampage when they come across a lone British officer on the beach who doesn't know quite what to make of the situation. The children see him as something they only barely remember. He turns to look out to his ship, and the children step forward, and the book ends. Most people take that to mean, and they were rescued at the end. But I don't think so. I strongly believe that when the officer turned his back on them, they jumped him and beat him to death, at which point his ship probably shelled the hell out of the island, or radioed it in as an enemy stronghold, or whatever, and then went off on their way. The point of the book is, I think that no one there was getting out alive, which was sort of the common belief about World War III at the time. Nobody is getting out of it alive. Thank you very much. The end. Welcome to the point in the show where we show my dumb books. We finished up with this one, so let's switch to reviews for The Bones of an Angel with cover art by Paula Tabor. There's links below.